This is somebody who, like the winner for the girls team, just started playing tennis this year and was asked to start on varsity, which is a tough ask. I think that even though he hadn't played for long, what he brought to our team, both culture-wise and he's just a lot of fun. And so I appreciate this young man and what he's brought to our team. Our Next Man Up award for the boys team is Grant Wright. The Griffin Award for our boys team, this is a young man who I think has a future in coaching someday. The number of times that I've walked over to help someone and look back and see that this person, just instead of participating in the drill, is actually now running the drill and coaching the drill, has happened a lot. Stayed after practice and helped newer players work on shots. It's been really impressive to see this person become a leader on top of a really great tennis player. So for our boys team, our Griffin, congratulations, Dylan Kwan.
Thank you again to Coach Cecil and our varsity tennis team. Now please help me in welcoming our varsity softball team. The theme this season for our varsity softball team was confidence and competition, and they did exactly that. The amount of improvement from the first practice to the last game was huge. They had to learn the offensive and defensive side in the majority of the drills since it was only Coach Marver coaching. They absorbed so much and put it into use during our games. This team battled and fought with 2 seniors, 2 juniors, 3 sophomores, and 4 freshmen. The season would not have been a success without all the girls working together. Please help me in welcoming Coach Marver.
All right, hopefully, can you guys hear me back there? Okay, I've been instructed to do this quick, so just listen for me. First, I'd like to thank the 2 seniors on the team, Cassidy Silliman and Adriana Gameros. They both have improved so much from when I first saw them at camp last summer. They worked very hard, either on their own or asking for extra time after practice to increase their skill and knowledge. These 2 young ladies will take those same attributes to their next level of education and challenges to do great things. One of the fun things about being a varsity coach is we had some region award winners. And so my first region award winner is a first team that goes to Abby Fleming for a position player. We also had second team goes to Natalie Whipple for a position player and pitcher. The third one is a second team, goes to Sophia Nakachi for catcher. And our last region award winner is a second team, which goes to Karen DiStefano for a position player. Now, the awards that I have for them, the first one is the Whatever It Takes Award, and this award goes to Natalie Whipple. Natalie is deserving of this award because she demonstrates leadership, integrity, and perseverance. In this wonderful game of softball, these ladies fail more times than they succeed. A player needs to keep a positive attitude, confidence, and strong will throughout every practice and every 7-inning game. The main pitcher needs even more of those skills to never get discouraged. Natalie did that and even more. She would take charge of warm-ups, lead during hitting drills, and be the biggest cheerleader for every young lady on this team. She is a great person and a great player on this team, and she is just a freshman. I am proud to give her this award and excited to see how she grows this offseason. Next year, the sky is the limit for this young lady. The next award is the Next Woman Up Award. This one goes to Sophia Nakachi. Sophia exemplifies this award. She is still a very new player at the catching position and was a workhorse behind the plate. She showed that being coachable, teachable, and scrappy can really improve her game. As a freshman, she would make adjustments during each at-bat when she was behind the plate for better technique and learn more as the game went on. She probably took the most abuse as a player, since catching is a very difficult position, and to learn it as the season progressed. She always battled at the plate and was a true warrior behind the plate. Sophia is a true woman up. And the last award is the Griffin Award. This Griffin Award goes to Abigail Fleming. Abby showed the grit, grind, and grow demeanor and the built for this attitude this season. She told me she was a catcher and played some center field when she finally showed up for practice after basketball season ended. After putting her through drills, I told her that she was going to play shortstop. As a junior, she didn't have much playing time there, and Abby asked me a lot of questions. She practiced hard and showed the capability to be the shortstop and the leader on the team. She did excel at the plate, and even though she feels her fielding should have been better, she did a great job of increasing her softball IQ. Abby always gives 100% effort, led by example on and off the field, and showed the heart and the desire to never quit or lose. She is the Griffin Award.
Thank you again, Coach Marver. Now please help me in welcoming our varsity baseball program. The 2022 GP baseball season was full of excitement and success. The amazing growth in numbers translated into wins and a playoff appearance. The coaches and players are hungry for more as they enter into the offseason. Please help me in welcoming Coach Sanchez.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me? I never work well with this microphone. First off, real quick, this will be short to the point. I got to thank everybody involved that's kind of helped where we've gotten to. Mr. Garrison, parents, players, and even like my new coaches. Those of you that have been here for a while, the coaching staff that we brought on this year has been phenomenal and have helped us reach everything that we've done this year. So we'll go ahead and get started. The Whatever It Takes award is going to go to this young man. He's kind of played both JV and varsity games. He was on the team last year, gave him a goal of some things to get better with, and he definitely stepped up and did that and played some meaningful minutes at the end of the JV season and played really well for us in the playoffs this year. So Hunter Gary. All right, so the next man up, this gentleman's not here today, but he's kind of in the same boat. He played for me last year, did what he needed to do, got better, played multiple positions for us, was called up to play in some varsity games, got, I think, 4 or 5 stolen bases in the 2 playoff games that we played in. So Landon Keith, this one goes to you. He's not here today. And then our Iron Griffin goes to Carter Blake. Carter's a brand new kid to baseball. They call him a soccer star, but I'm hoping to change that. No, this kid, his eagerness to learn the game of baseball and pick up the tools quickly, he used his speed to become an anchor for us in the outfield and on the base paths, so much so that he was called up to play on the varsity team for runners for our pitchers and catchers, and did an amazing job. Carter Blake. All right. Okay, now we're going to move on to the varsity guys. So the Whatever It Takes winner is really special to me. He's one of my first players that came to play for me when I took over 3 seasons ago. He can go ahead and come down here now. Joseph Randall. Joseph is all-region, first team 2 years in a row. Was our best pitcher on the team, was top 3 in 2A, was elected to the All-Star game next Saturday. This kid's the first one here, the last one to go home. Sometimes I have to tell him to leave the field and the park. I spend a lot of time throwing BP to this guy. He's really special to me and to this program, and I look forward to seeing what he's going to do in the future. All right, next man up. This young man is probably the heart and soul of GP athletics. I wanted to temper him a little bit this year, but I couldn't. First game of the year, he goes 4 for 4 against Camp Verde, was the life of the team, just an amazing all-around kid. Played his tail off in the playoffs, so much so that the catcher behind the plate in our first round game thought he was a senior and was super surprised when he found out he was a freshman. Josh Rickey. And last but not least, the Iron Griffin. This young man played for me last year as a middle schooler, and when he walked on the field, you kind of knew that he's got something special. Walked onto the field this year as a freshman and just was a leader. So Logan Middendorf. There's a lot I can say about him, but he not only earned the respect of his teammates, but also the respect of our opponents through his hard work at practice and his production in the game. Logan is the perfect choice for this award. He's just an all-around great kid. I've loved coaching him over the year.
Let's give one big round of applause again for high school baseball and Coach Sanchez. Now, our final team of the evening, our high school track and field team. For the boys team, the coaches entered the season with one of the smallest teams in years. The team started with 12 athletes, and then in track there's 18 events, so competing as a team was a challenge for them. The focus was on individually getting better, and the team was able to do that. Over 30 personal records were set. As a team, their best finishes were 7th at the Chandler Rotary, 9th at the Skydome Classic in Flagstaff. Even though the team was small, 6 of the 12 teams competed at the state championship, and they saved the best for last, as all 3 school records were broken during the championship. On the girls' side, the coaches entered the season with high hopes based on the team's 6th place finish of last year's state meet. There was a strong returning group, so excitement was going high into the season. Track is a sport where you get out what you put in. It's not just about who has the most talent, it's about who has the will to push through fatigue and experience. As a team, they did well. Because all of our meets are invitationals, we compete against schools of all sizes, so a school the size of GP doesn't normally win as much. But when they compared to teams within our division, they were always top 3. But with any sport, team success is measured at the end. The team's success carried to the state championship this past week. They improved upon last year's 6th place finish by placing 5th this year. With only a couple of losses to graduation and some strong incoming 8th graders, the team is positioned for continued success for the future. Please help me in welcoming Coach Webdale.
All right, hopefully this microphone works. I'm going to start out by just saying a couple thank yous. I wanted to first say thank you to all the coaches that helped me, Coach Crawford, Coach Cometh, and Coach Smalls. The track is there's a lot of variation in events that go on, so training someone to get around the track as fast as they can is completely different than trying to help someone get over a bar that's 9 foot in the air, or to throw a 4 kilogram metal ball as far as they can. So just I couldn't have done it without them. I don't have the skill to coach all those, so any success wasn't just because of my coaching, it's because of what they were doing as well. So I just want to say thank you to the coaches. Secondly, I always want to thank the parents just for the job they've done raising these kids. You've raised a great bunch of young men and women. Track meets can last for 10 to 12 hours, and events that these kids run, oh, we lost the balloons the other side this time. The events, they could take just a couple seconds, 10 seconds, 12 seconds, to a couple minutes, and like I said, the meets last for 12 hours, so we get a lot of time to just socialize and get to know the kids, and I just want to say I've really enjoyed getting to know each and every one of these athletes, so thank you, parents. And we'll give a round of applause to the parents. And finally, I always thank my wife, Ann. Track's a commitment, or coaching is a commitment, not just for the coaches, but for the spouses, so I couldn't do it without you. We get home late from practice. I'm gone a lot of Saturdays, the whole day, so I just want to say thank you for your support and allowing me to do this. So I just want to say I love you, and thank you. So I'll start with the women's awards, but one thing I wanted to mention before I did the awards, I just wanted to bring up our girls 4x8 team, because I wanted to especially recognize the four of them. 4x8. 4x8. So you may ask why I have these 4 up here. They ran the 4x8 at the state meet, and they did a phenomenal job. I can't express how impressed I was with what they did. They won, so we had a state champion, so they were state champions, so congratulations to them for that. But what they did, in our division, in the history of track and field, they were the 3rd fastest ever. So that was, they broke 10 minutes, which never been done in the school, so I set the school record. But the 3rd fastest in our division, in the whole state of Arizona, they were 13th. So I just wanted to specially recognize these 4 for the job they did. So I'll start with the Whatever It Takes award. And for this one, I wanted to recognize one of our most valuable athletes. Her excellence just throughout the season. And she specialized really in 2 events throughout the year, and she just excelled in both of them. I looked at all of her results, and in any meet that we went to, and this is against schools of all sizes, she finished no worse than 5th in any of the events that she ran. She started the season by already having the school record in the 400, and she set that 4 additional times, or broke that 4 additional times during the year. And she also started to focus on the 800 and did just as well by setting a new school record, and that's her standard now, is school records. But she capped the season by finishing 1st or 2nd in all 4 events that she was in, and one of those being the 4x8. And last year she was our first individual state champion, and she added that this year by finishing 1st in the 800 and finishing 1st as a part of the 4x8 relay team. And just to give you an idea of how impressive she was, her 400 time is the 16th best in the state, and her 800 time is 13th best. So that's with all schools in the entire state, not just within our division. So this year's Whatever It Takes award goes to Zoe Rich. And so the next, I call it the next Griffin up. Similar to the guy side, we set a lot of PRs. The girls this year, the 23 girls that were on the team had over 85 personal records. So this one's always a difficult one to choose because everybody makes improvements. But this athlete accounted for 9 of those 85. And she finished this year with school records, 2 school records. They're not events we run very often, the 60 meters and the 60-meter hurdles, but she set the school records in both of those, so that's impressive. And she finished the top 10 in GP's top 10 all-time list in the 100, the 200, the 100 hurdles, and the shot put. And this is all as a freshman. So just to make the top 10 as a freshman is very impressive. But what really impressed me is how she finished the season. She qualified for the state meet in the 100 hurdles and the shot put, and not only qualified, but made the finals in both and actually scored for us. So it was an impressive finish. I just want to recognize that. So this year's next Griffin up goes to Sophia Boonzire. And for my last award on the girls' side is the Griffin Award, and this award goes to a senior that may or may not even like running. I think I didn't even count I lost count after it happens a few times, but there were a few times I tell her the workout and she would just want to walk right off the track. But I'm glad that she eventually kept coming back. Because she exemplified the kind of family atmosphere that we want to promote on our team. And she was able to break some of her personal records, so that's another reason I'm glad she stuck with it. She did set some records 2 or 3 years ago that she was finally able to break this year. And she made it to the state meet in 2 different events, the 1600 and 3200. So I joked about her not really enjoying running, but I truly believe she does enjoy running. I think it's more she doesn't like the coaches. But this year's Griffin Award goes to Claire Cannon. All right, now for the boys' awards. So the coaches, we entered this year with one of our smallest teams in years. We started with just 12 athletes, and there's 18 events in track and field. So competing as a team was always going to be a challenge for us. So our focus was, okay, let's focus on getting everyone better whatever meet they decide to participate in. And so with those 12 athletes, we set over 30 personal records. So we were able to see measurable improvements. And then 16 of those performances made it to the GP's top 10 list. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong page. All right, whatever it takes. That was our season overview, by the way, so you got a second dose of that. For Whatever It Takes award, I wanted to recognize one of our most dedicated, consistent athletes. He was always ready to go to work, and that effort was reflected not only in practice, but how he performed at the meets. Of our 30 personal records that were sent, this athlete set 9 of those. And he's been very versatile. As the end of the year with school records in the 3200 and the javelin, which are completely different events. Have you ever gone to a track and field event or track and field meet? And he also holds the 3rd fastest time in the school history in the 1600. And I know he was proud of the 3200 because he finally broke that 10-minute barrier. He's a senior, so he's going to be missed. Our distance program is really going to miss him. But I know he's going to be remembered. He'll be happy that he'll be remembered because I know Peter is going to be chasing him that 3,200-meter record for his next 2 years. So this year's Whatever It Takes award goes to Trevin Jansen. All right, so this next Griffin up, this one, again, it's very difficult to just pick just one athlete because we had so many athletes that improved throughout the year. And this athlete was in his 2nd year of running at the high school level, and it's always enjoyable for me as a coach to see athletes make that leap from year 1 to year 2. Just year 1, they're trying to figure out track, trying to figure out the meet, how it functions, and then in year 2, they really excel. And this athlete was an example of that. He had an exceptional cross-country season and then shifted his focus to some of the longer track events this year. He'd focused kind of on the 300 hurdles a lot in prior years. And so he did run the 300 hurdle, set a PR, but his main focus was the 16 and 3200s. So he set PRs in each of those distances and qualified for the state meet in the 32. But what most impressed me was his desire to improve. He just kept asking, what can I do to get better? What can I do to get better? And he's only a sophomore, and that's going to just make him better, and that'll give him the motivation to chase down Trevin's record. So this year's next Griffin up goes to Peter Brown. So finally, my final award is the award that best represents Glendale Prep. I had a number of seniors to pick from. Ian, Colin, EJ all stepped up in their own unique ways. But one of the things that I enjoy most about coaching is just seeing all these athletes grow from year to year. And it's just amazing to see them when they're seniors, how they step up into in those leadership roles. And this year's winner did that as well. But with all the seniors did that, but I have to pick just one, because that's the way these award ceremonies go. So I think the greatest attribute for this athlete was just, his likability. He wasn't always the fastest of our runners, but he just had a way of helping the team come together. Track events are spread out among a lot of different areas of the track, whether you're jumping or throwing or running. So you might go to a meet and maybe not really see any of your teammates just because of the way that the meets are set up. But this athlete was always deliberate about just going out of his way to, make everyone feel part of the team, and he even mentioned that a couple times throughout the year. And this one was difficult because I always hesitate to give the award to my kids because I don't want to seem favoritism, but I got the okay from the coaches. So with fatherly pride, this year's Griffin Award goes to EJ Webdale.
All right, let's give one last round of applause for our varsity track and field team. All righty, and to finish tonight, I just wanted to recognize some people I missed before. So Mr. McBee and Mr. Lom, can we please give them a big, big, big round of applause? Mr. McBee and Mr. Lom take photos at every single one of our GP Athletics events. They help out with our yearbook, our website, and our social media pages. We are extremely grateful for them and all the work, time, energy that they take away from their families and away from their jobs so that they can make our experience here great. And then our last person I would like to thank is our trainer, Mr. James Imhoff. Let's give him one big round of applause as well. James sees all of our injured athletes and works on their recovery plans, and so we are extremely thankful for him. And lastly, before we all go, we have refreshments out on the patio, and we have games out on the field, and we would love for you guys to stick around for a time of fellowship. Thank you all for a great evening, and have a great rest of your night. And as a reminder, please grab your medals from